So for past year, number 2, find the solution for this modulus rational greater equals to 2. So we notice that these questions, kindly refer these questions, our denominator is in modulus, means that we can confirm it always positive and we can do the multiplication to the right hand side. So we can get both side modulus. Only with the denominator with modulus, we can multiply it to the right hand side. Otherwise, you cannot be doing that. So for this question, I will separate the modulus. It will become modulus 3x plus 4 over modulus x minus 7 greater equals to 2. So for this part, when my denominator is in modulus, so it is very safe, confirm. Safely we can multiply it to the right hand side. As right hand side has a value of 2 times with the modulus of x minus 7. Once we move the denominator part to the right hand side, remember to write this. The denominator part cannot take the value equals to 0. Cannot equals to 0, so we cannot take the answer value of 7. So this is the properties come from denominator. Once we times the denominator to the right hand side, we actually already change the properties of this question become linear. So the originality of this question we have to maintain, where the denominator cannot take the value of 0, so the x cannot equals to 7. So once you move there, we have to straight away calculate these properties of denominator. So when after we move the modulus x minus 7 to the right hand side, we can see this question actually is both side modulus in inequalities. So we can do it by squaring both sides. So for these questions, square root means modulus means square root and square. Modulus means square root and square. So we change it writing, and we can simplify it by squaring both sides. So after we squaring both sides, we can notice that this square can be simplified by this square root. So we only expand of 3x plus 4 square. And then for these 2, remember to square it to get 4. Meanwhile, for this square root and square, it will cancel to each other, leaving x minus 7 square. So we expand this, so it will become a square, which will give us 9x square. Then 2ab, expand this 2ab, so it will give us 24x. And b square here, 4 square will equal to 16, greater equals to 4 times x minus 7 square, which is just give us x square minus 14x plus 49. Continue our expansion. So after we simplify the modulus, notice that this question already changed to quadratic inequalities. So for quadratic inequalities, we have to follow the rules that we have to rearrange the quadratic to the left hand side. Let the right hand side become 0. So I will move this 4 to the left hand side. So it will give us 5x squared. Meanwhile, for the b part here, negative 56x, we will move it to the left hand side. It will become plus together. After adding together, it will give us 80x. Then 196 move to the left hand side, it will become negative 180. So leave the right hand side 0, so that we can notice that this is the region we are going to taking. This is the region we are going to taking positive. So before we going to do our factorization, our quadratic where ax squared bx plus c must be in the simplest form. We must simplify this. Notice that this is a multiple of 5. So we will simplify it by dividing these inequalities by 5 in order to get x squared plus 16x minus 36 greater equals to 0. Then we are doing the step of factorization and we will draw our graph. So while doing your calculator where a equals to 1, b equals to 16, c equals to negative 36, you will notice that your calculator will give you two values of x. So that will be our roots here. So give the smaller value of x, which is negative 18, at left hand side, and bigger value of x, 2 at right hand side. So this is my roots here. So our factorization here means it will x plus 18, and then here will be x minus 2. So notice that our quadratic are solving for positive region. So when we finding for positive region means our region we're going to take here will be above x-axis. So this is our region of solution. This is our x solution when our solving this quadratic. So finally, we can get this answer. So this is our answer where x will be smaller equals to negative 18. We got equal because we follow through the question, it got equal. Another part of the answer will be x. This answer will be greater than 2 because this answer will be at the right hand side of 2. So this x will be greater equals to 2. So don't forget, remain this question, remain this answer. And we cannot take the x equals to 7. X cannot be 7 to be our final answer. So we can accept our answer in this inequalities form because the question doesn't mention anything, or we want to write in set notation also can, or we want to write in interval form also can. So we review these questions, how to get these 6 marks. First, you must write it clearly, your denominator cannot equals to 0. This is basic things, which will give you 1 marks. And then in order to solve this equation, it needs the concept of squaring both sides by multiply this denominator to the right hand side. So that will be our concept, how to square both sides to remove the modulus. And then we are going to expand this to forming a quadratic inequalities. So for these quadratic inequalities, you must simplify and to get factorization. So this factorization is a method, and graphing also a method to solve these quadratic inequalities. Lastly, our answer equals to this. So here we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's all for question 2.